Hello.
Hello, welcome to
Hello.
Sometimes Something.
Yeah, episode 25. Quarter
25 special.
quarter of a way to 100.
Yep,
And
two
it's
thirds
another
of a way to 25 times
3.
2/3.
Oh
No. What's the?
boy.
I'm bad at math. This is a bad
Me
start.
too.
Um, yeah,
You're stuck
welcome,
with just
welcome.
me and Kari again today. Nobody
Yep,
else
both.
showed up. Well, Colton's out vacationing still, living his life.
So is Calvin. He's been out and about. I'm sure he's
Yep.
somewhere miles away from his house right now,
I'm sure he
doing
is. I'm sure he's
some
God
work.
knows where. Yep.
Yeah,
The swamp
yeah.
somewhere.
The swamp. Yeah.
Yeah. So what's
Well, we
what's
we
new?
we we've got some interesting things going on. The SAG strike is still ongoing,
Still
unfortunately.
going.
Um, which is something kind of interesting to me, just kind of seeing the reaction because there seems to be kind of a tonal shift. Just kind of like what the executives and everybody have been planning to happen, but a lot
Mm,
of the lower income actors have had to go back to waiting tables and uh,
right.
grocery stores and stuff, and it's been really rough on them. So you kind of have this divide of those people who are able to go without work for a while, pushing the strike to go on longer,
Yeah.
and the people who are, especially when, and I don't want to speak for anybody because I do not understand the full details of it, but I believe that some of the issues still on the table, um, that's keeping them from coming to an agreement probably would be fine for some actors
Right.
who are on this lower end of the spectrum, but maybe not so great for the high. So it's kind of like, is this fair? And it's a little bit of that going on. It's a
Yeah.
bit
A mixture
unfortunate.
of yeah. Well,
Yeah,
yeah. Hopefully that ends soon and everything get back to normal.
that'd be ideal. They say there's no end in sight though, because I think they just had some talks a couple days ago.
Yeah. As of what is today? Yeah. Last night there's a variety article saying that the studios are preparing a new offer in hopes of salvaging the 2024 box office. So hopefully, in
Oh,
like the next week at least, there'll be another offer presented. Maybe.
let's hope let's
So
hope it's enough.
yeah. The CEOs are
Yeah,
expected to present their new offer on Tuesday. Is that today? That's today.
that's
Yeah.
today. Yeah,
So
so we'll find out next week,
yeah, maybe next
and you
week we'll
guys
have
will know when you listen to it.
yes.
You will
Yeah.
know the answer. Let us know in the comments what
Yeah. Yeah.
happened.
Let us know if it, yeah. You can be our news source.
Yeah. But yeah,
Well.
that's what's going on a little bit. Talk about visual effects union, all that stuff has been popping up again.
Hmm.
Mostly just on Reddit I've seen. Uh
Yeah. There's always been rumblings of people always mumbling and grumbling about unionizing, but it seems like things are actually maybe happening now. It's like people signing stuff. I think it was it DNIG had like we're sending out stuff for people to sign and stuff, right?
yeah, it's I don't know. I think it's I think cuz it's always existed to an extent with some
Hmm.
people in it, right? I think um it's just it's going to take a lot for anything to actually change or for them to have the ability to kind of shift the industry.
Yeah.
You'll need a lot of people joining in. Um,
Yeah.
but we'll
What
see. We'll
about
see.
some exciting tech news, Car? Anything exciting and uplifting?
Exciting and uplifting. Well, uh, Godot has a new update. Apparently, um,
Mm.
it's getting better. A lot of people are loving that app. Honestly, I don't. I'm not aware of some big tech news.
No,
Um,
me neither. Have you been doing any game dev stuff? recently? Has your time kind
No,
of freed
not
up a
not
bit?
really. Yeah,
No.
I've still been focusing on Houdini stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, there is some big tech news.
Oh.
Houdini 20 and the new version of Nuke were announced
Oh.
not too long ago.
What's new
Um,
with Houdini 20? Anything
yeah, I think one
crazy?
of the bigger thing with Houdini, at least for me, is that they opened up a new animation context. So they're really going hard into
Oh,
trying to make it easier for animators to use. Um, like a whole
interesting.
context for it is a big deal because it's like I don't know if you know with Houdini there's SOPs and cops and there's different areas of Houdini that are kind of like staples what makes the app. And for whenever
Right,
they add a new one, it's a big update. Like the latest one they added was Lops, which is all that Solaris stuff, and that was a huge deal.
right.
Um, so adding another one, big deal. And I'm
So
not
what?
really sure. They didn't really reveal that much in the teaser, but
Yeah,
yeah, it's
I have
kind
it
of
up play now. The sneak peek.
yeah.
Some hex tiling. That's cool.
They also made Material X or Karma XPU, I should say, a lot better now.
Hmm.
So rendering on your GPU
Just more efficient
very
and faster kind of stuff.
is more of a. I mean, I'm sure it's more efficient too, but like now it has more features. Like before, basically what you had was the Karma CPU and XPU.
Hmm.
CPU could only run your CPU, but it was more fully featured. Like that one's actually ready for production. Um, and XPU, which is the GPU, you know, CPU hybrid, that
Oh,
one's like
gotcha.
has half the features. So like you couldn't do all the same stuff with like volumes, and you can't do all the same stuff with like PBR materials and stuff. But you can still do cool
Oh,
stuff.
gotcha.
But now it's like with this new update, it's like very close to being um, like almost no reason to use CPU unless you need the memory, which will be
Mm.
exciting.
So going back to
Um,
this animation thing, I have it up now. It's
yeah,
like selection sets. So is it like just better rigging stuff?
it's so like if you could think about it, it's hard to explain without using Houdini, but there's not it's not really like Maya
Okay.
where it's very easy for an animator to kind of get around and get choose the parts of a rig they want. It's still pretty technical. Like
Gotcha.
selection sets is something that every app already has to an extent, but
Right.
that's something kind of big for animators. I'm assuming that's why I'm not really sure how deep this context goes,
Hmm.
but it's probably a interface where animators can just focus on animating and not having to like dive into a node to change something or having to um, you know like if you use Houdini, right? There's quite a few times you're probably going to open up a node and dive inside to change something, and
Right.
animators don't
One
want to
little
be,
thing, whatever.
yeah. And you're supposed to expose that stuff as a rigger, but anyways, that's just it's interesting. I don't know yet, but it looks promising.
Some
I don't
close
know
to
how long.
home.
It'll probably be a while before animators are still willing to touch the app.
Jump. Yeah.
It's been very unanimator friendly from even just like a reputation standpoint.
Right.
But
It's gotta be so hard to catch up to, especially if like Maya keeps, always improving stuff, then Houdini's gotta catch up and be as good as like the latest or better for them to be like, oh yeah, we should switch over.
yeah, it's true. But
I mean, it's a big
honestly, they
learning thing
probably
too.
yeah. But I think they're playing the long game because you know
Mm,
Maya hasn't really changed much as
right.
far as improving anything.
Yeah, I guess once they're on
Um,
top, why why abandon ship?
yeah, that's kind of the pattern, right, with these large companies.
Yeah.
But is what it is. But something
Mm.
that you may be more interested in is have you looked at the new Nuke?
No. Nuke
Yeah.
15, right? Yeah, I haven't actually watched anything for it.
Um,
15 overview.
there's like a little teaser. Oh goodness, sorry. I just play that loud.
All
Um,
right. What's
yeah. So
Oh, I
Apple
do kind of
Silicon. We
right,
can we can skim
right.
through it.
Yeah.
uh, machine learning in the node. So that one's actually a
Oh,
huge deal.
right. You can send like all the machine learning stuff like for like doing like your roto shapes and stuff, but you can send that to the farm now, right? Isn't that the big thing? Or like it's
I
set up.
guess
Isn't that because isn't
I
that
did.
that's always I remember doing that on past shows where like someone would bring it up and they're like, that's gonna take forever and it's gonna be like down like your PC is gonna be down for the whole day while it's doing it. But now it's set up where you
I
can
just
do
assumed
it
that
on
there was a
multiple
way to do
PCs.
that. Okay,
Maybe there was, yeah.
no, that's pretty cool. Yeah, but I think, um, yeah, I think machine learning stuff is going to be big as people start using that.
Mm-hmm.
The multi-resolution one,
Yeah, what is that?
it looks to be like
Like tile renders? No.
I
Or is it just like upscaling but with machine learning?
I guess so. I don't want to
It's
pretend like I understand that immediately. It probably will help if I turn on audio
hmm.
or subtitles. There you go.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, they got some machine learning tools. It's pretty cool. They got more copycat stuff. We have some.
What's this uh multi-pixel blink affected in timeline. Never mind.
Yeah, you can just use it. Your fancy Nuke stuff now and while editing.
Right.
Which I wonder, are there people actually using Nuke Studio?
I have no idea. There's got to be if
'Cause I
there's
feel
still,
like,
or maybe it's
yeah,
still like the same thing like the Houdini animation stuff where they're just always updating and showing it, being like, eh, and maybe
yeah,
someday,
it's just the price, man. When you have something like Resolve, that's like
yeah.
I I don't know.
I could see like smaller like one man studios maybe using this if they're paying for like Nuke already. If they're doing that, then maybe just keeping it all and just
Maybe
doing
there's like
like
a
quick
nice
stuff,
workflow.
then be able to, yeah. But even
I could see
then,
that.
I
Yeah,
guess
but
seeing like live updates in your timeline, but
that's another one of those things though, where it's like how unless you are a one man or two man thing, how useful is that actually to have things update? Don't you like? Because I feel like I mean, at least me personally, I'm so big, even on my home stuff on versioning and having that so separate and like so
mm-hmm.
manual. You know what I mean? Just so I can track what's going on. Because that
Yeah.
implies it's overriding something, right? Or am I
Well, yeah, I don't.
insane?
Maybe it's just smart and reads the latest, or like maybe it's like kind of like the live group things where it can like
Oh, it's like a
look
live script in there.
inside.
Oh, like just like
Yeah,
Resolve, right?
yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
But I mean, yeah, I guess they got to do it. They probably have some corporate agenda.
yeah. New
But
3D
yeah,
stuff. What's new there? I still haven't dove into their like new 3D system really.
I haven't really gotten into it either.
It looks.
Um,
I mean, hopefully it's good. I guess it's more for like
it's
USD
fine.
stuff. It looks whenever they show off their demos, you're like, oh wow, you can just it's just you have a full 3D scene that's all shaded. But then in practice, it's never like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think I just want to edit geometry. That's the thing that I was a bit disappointed on. It'll be nice to bring
Mm,
in assets easier. Like I feel like that's all this is gonna end up being. Was like we
right.
can actually bring in our CG scene and not be asking people to publish bakes and stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't know. If I feel like unless you can just edit the geometry, change the UVs, that's the stuff I really care about in the 3D system. But this is probably a step towards that, you know. Um, it's
Yeah.
just
Getting better.
it's getting
Getting
better.
better.
It's getting better. Geo merge node has greater rendering. Okay.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's about all the kind of fancy stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Always when I watch these stuff and I just see like little snippets of like projects and stuff, say I want to work on something like my own, do a little short. Just a lot of work.
Yeah, I mean, it's we could talk about that a little bit. I've been seeing,
Mm-hmm.
especially ever since with the Gaussian spotting stuff, a lot of people just taking a thing and throwing some lights in, calling it a day.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But just something.
Cool.
There's a little, like, I am never against. There's a little part of it that kind of bothers me a bit, especially when I see like a post where, you know, like someone just took like a broken Gaussian splat that looked kind of cool and like
Mm-hmm.
flew a camera through it. And I was like, oh, that looks
Yeah.
kind of neat. I was like, oh, okay. So this person probably did a Gaussian splat and it was like so broken that he just did, okay, it's cool. But then he
Right.
started like adding like random like pixel sort and like he like it just kind of ruined everything. You could tell. I don't know. It felt like it was like this. Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's like with all the like the AI stuff, you see like so many more people like posting art and like boasting about it, which like in some cases
Yeah.
is good, but like it's
Have you been
you know
seeing this trend, Kade, on Twitter of the picture of like the art and the artist like next to each other?
oh yeah.
That one's gotten me so much because like the photo, it's always like their most. You could tell it's the photo. Oh, this is my best photo. Like, look at me
Right.
here. They're like posed up and they're like it's like their little stupid selfie or their. It's just yeah.
Yeah.
But then I start seeing like industry people doing it too, and I'm a little bit like,
Mhm.
come on. Like I get it when you're like I just feel like with some they will show like this a cool shot from like Transformers or something,
Mhm.
and it's like, okay, well, it says you're like an animator, so I know you just animate it, which is, you know, cool. But like so many other
Yeah.
people worked on this, so like just seeing like you're putting your stupid
Yeah.
selfie face next to like this giant Transformer scene,
Yeah.
saying like, yeah,
That's
the
what
artist. It's like,
whenever
what?
I see like those or like they do like the portfolio day and stuff, I'm like, oh, that'd be like fun to do, but like I don't like I can't just put up like a shot from like a movie I worked on without doing like a paragraph being like I just like I couldn't have done this without the 200 artists before me who made everything, and I just kind of did some pretty stuff at the end. But if you just put up on Twitter being like, oh, this is what I did, it just looks like you did everything.
Yeah, it
And
looks,
other people would see it like you would see it and be like, like you didn't do all that.
especially when
Like,
you have your goofy face plastered next
and
to
then
it
that too,
too.
yeah. It's like the slip of a book cover where you're like, yes, this is I did this.
Yeah, it's a bit much, um, in my opinion. But they have their fun. Artists get enough flack.
I feel like that's mostly for like kind of like the online art creator people who like
I've seen,
you just
yeah,
see their art and then like, hey, this is me. Like you don't know it's the man behind the mask, but then it's people like just I don't know, people who don't need to do
I
that are also like, oh yes, also care
yeah,
about me.
I think it's fun. Yeah, I totally like. I think it probably started there for sure with just like people
Yeah.
who draw. It's like, yo, you guys never seen my face reveal, but like, I saw one of some guy who was like, his photo was him like looking off into the sunset, like with his hair
Hmm.
blowing.
He's a
And
sophisticated artist,
it
Kari.
was very, yeah.
Yeah.
He was like,
Thinks
yeah,
about what he
self
prompts.
photography, by the way.
Oh.
He thinks about what he prompts.
Oh
It's
boy.
a prompt engineer.
Yeah, prompt. A senior
Have you ever
prompt
seen those?
engineer. Oh, I got so mad. Like on ArtStation before they kind of. Well, I guess it's still on there, but I remember like when all that stuff was happening, seeing like every once in a while, like you click on something, oh that looks cool. You click on it, and it's like, oh, I wonder where this guy works. Like, oh, he's a senior prompt engineer. It's like, oh, so he.
A senior prompt. Why do you add
What
senior?
does that mean? Yeah, because he's been doing it for a couple of weeks. So
Because it's only existed for
yeah,
less than a year. You're a senior at it. Okay.
yeah. He was one of the first people to touch Akari. So
Oh, that's true.
compared to you, who's only typed in a couple prompts.
I
and you
was the
like
first
Akari.
one accepted into the Discord when they first started. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Remember that guy
boy.
selling the props on Etsy?
Oh,
Like
I don't remember
10,000.
that, but that's
Wait, I thought. Oh my gosh. Okay, there's a guy selling
Ugh.
props. Like it's like 10,000 props, and it's like $15, and it's like
do you think
make
those
really good
do
AI
those come
start.
with the prompts that he prompted ChatGPT to prompt? You have to pay extra for the prompts of the prompt.
Oh man. Oh yeah, and then okay, so with the new updates with GPT, because now it's connected to DALI,
Right.
I keep getting these like suggestions about these people. They're like, "All right, guys, if you aren't using ChatGPT, you have fallen behind.
Hmm.
Here's 5 examples." And
I
it's
see
like,
that.
yeah, I started a e-commerce business with ChatGPT.
I
You
see
haven't started
those
because
all. I keep getting them on like the for you page on like Twitter,
I keep,
but
yeah,
I get
exactly
them
right.
every. But I always hate like click them to look at the thread to see how
I
stupid they
do
are. But
too.
that's I keep getting them because I see them like every day where it's like, and it makes me so
the
mad.
one
And I
I
click them
the
every
one I
time.
saw, it was like I'm a e-commerce. I create e-commerce, and it's like, hey ChatGPT, make me a T-shirt website. And it's like, wow, it made me a T-shirt selling website. And then the crazy part is he used DALI to design the designs on the T-shirt. This is crazy. I just started a whole business by myself with AI. I'm like, anybody's gonna buy your little AI generated kitty on a
Yeah.
T-shirt that you just print. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's especially because there's stuff like that too. Like this, okay, there's a lot of steps in between making a website, throwing your PNG on a T-shirt PNG,
Yeah.
and then selling those said shirts to people. But they're acting like, oh, this is
They're getting their
insane.
clicks.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they got my click, unfortunately. So
Yeah. Oh, boy.
it's this thing where it's kind of unfortunate too, because like now that I think we've talked about this in the past, where that certain art style that was very common on ArtStation, that everything kind of got trained on,
Mm,
is like now I'm immediately suspicious of it as soon as I see any
yeah.
kind of like, how do you describe it, like rendered 2D art when people spend a lot of time shading it,
Mm,
um like digitally
yeah.
shading that look. But now it's like, oh man, I feel bad if, I think a while back there's that one guy who posted his work to Reddit, and it was just like his normal painting, but they banned him
Oh,
because they thought it was
uh-huh.
AI.
Yeah.
He got
I
mad
feel
and made a
like
fuss about
it'll
it.
just be a lot more common than it already is now for like art station stuff to like always have like a breakdown or like a time lapse if it's a drawing. Just be like, hey, I drew this. I know it looks like
That's
AI, but like here's the time
that's a
lapse
good
of me
point.
doing it.
Yeah, until AI
Oh,
could do that too. Yeah,
oh my god.
yeah,
Ugh,
yeah. I mean, those AI videos are pretty crazy already. So
I
like,
know.
it's like
I wonder if it could. It probably could.
it
I
probably, I
wonder.
feel like it's doable. Yeah.
Yeah. Damn it. Oh
It's the
boy.
life. It's the future. If you're not using it, Cade, you are behind. If you're not
I know.
constantly in it,
I
then
hate them because every time I read that, I'm like, am I? I'm like, maybe I am. I'm like, no, I'm fine. I'm fine.
uh,
But I mean,
to
yeah.
be fair,
At the
I've
same time, I
still,
do think you should like keep up with it and like know what's out there for like.
for sure. To be fair, I do use ChatGPT quite a bit for learning. It's
Mm,
like it's changed a lot for me in that regard, because it's so nice to be able, especially when you're learning stuff that I have no idea,
right.
even where to start understanding like some algorithm. I just, I get
That's good.
explanation. I know where to look next, and then
Yeah,
it's
that's cool.
easy. And then with like
That
math
is
stuff, I actually also started using it to organize my notes, because I take a lot of notes in my Obsidian. Um, and I, oh, this is gonna sound so. If Calvin was here, he'd get mad at me. So I
well,
had
it's
this
not your
idea.
your safe space.
I know, safe space. So you know how when you like launch software, there's like a tip usually.
What do you
Um,
mean? Like, if you like
or
hover over
okay,
it?
for you guys, like a game, when you play the game and during the loading menu, there's a tip.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And like over time, because you play the game long enough, you just kind of learn everything in tip.
yeah.
I set up a system where I get a notification on my phone of random tips of everything I've ever learned.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
So like every like 3 times a day, I just get like a little pop on my phone saying, "Flip solvers do this thing." And it's like, huh, and then I close it off.
Cool. How'd
Um,
you like?
so
How
the
do you tell
system
it what
went,
it? Yeah, let's tell me about it.
Yeah, so I have a whole bunch of notes. Like every time I watch a tutorial, I like write down everything don't I think I need to remember.
Mm-hmm.
And then the any part was I used ChatGPT to like turn that into a bullet point, like just to organize it basically to make it into a
Right.
big. And I pasted that into a document on my um like Apple Notes.
Mm-hmm.
And I used like Apple shortcuts.
Right.
I just made a Apple shortcut that basically reads that note and then divides it into a list. It gets a random element on that list, and then sends
Oh,
that list as a notification every time,
that's
a
cool.
certain time.
So,
Um,
why did you do this? Like, just for fun, or
okay, just
I
I
just
mean,
like if it, like you
just
see it and you like it reminds you to
what
like
is
get
wrong
back to
with you?
work.
What is
No, I didn't say
what
that.
is
I couldn't think of a right way to say that.
no, just to it was more of like to remind me. I don't know. I thought of I thought of the game example. I'm like, oh, that'd be nice if I just kind of had this information in my head because there's so much stuff now, especially with this like
Oh, I guess that
math
would kind
stuff.
of like
So
imprint
like
it in your
every
brain if you're reading just like random little facts every day that you're gonna read. That you're gonna
yeah,
remember.
because I was specifically thinking about the game example and like the tips
Right.
example when you open Houdini, where it's just like, oh, I learned all this stuff just from opening the app so many times,
Mm.
or just from loading so many times. So like, how much it affects, I don't know, but it wasn't that hard to set up, and I
Yeah, yeah.
just set that system going.
I think it's cool.
Thank you, Kate. Thank you,
You're welcome.
Kate. But yeah, I know it was a bit. I think it was handy. Um,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's pretty neat.
Have you used much Apple shortcuts? They're pretty
No,
fun.
I have done zero actually.
Oh yeah, they're really easy to use. It's not like there's no programming. It's just
Yeah.
like all.
What
I
kind of
think it is
stuff do you have
programming.
shortcutted?
What kind of stuff I have? I
Yeah.
have that. I have like something for like a quick Obsidian note thing. It's
Mm.
really handy mainly for like why I used it for is like launching apps. You can have stuff
Right.
happen when you get a text. So whenever you get a text from somebody or you send a text to somebody,
Mm.
it'll automatically trigger that
Like, what
action
do you
so you
have
can be.
trigger when
Uh,
someone texts you?
I don't actually use that. I'm just giving an
Oh,
example.
okay. That's why I was so curious. I was like, do you just
But my
have it
brother, my
delete right
brother
away?
does a thing. No, yeah, my brother does this thing though. Where like, because my mom was always checking on my brother because he lives nearby them,
Right.
and he has this thing where like whenever mom texts him, it auto texts her back saying I'm fine, and like gives her if so, but like it's more complicated than that. Like if he's at home and the phone is at home, because it could check your location, it'll text back like I'm fine, leave me alone.
Right. What's gonna happen
Um,
when he gets kidnapped from his home one day and
I
the
know,
mom
right?
texts him every day? He's like, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. He's been gone for 3 weeks.
That's the flaw in the system, but works for him. He's
Yeah,
tired of it. But
that's funny.
yeah, but stuff like that's handy. But like I've seen people do more fancy things, like because it kind of lets you make everything Appleable.
Right.
Like because you can be like, oh, when I get an email, I can send an email to my blank whatever, and it'll automatically divide the subject of the email, turn it into a note, put it in my
Um,
reminders, make a calendar schedule. You can like go really crazy, and you can like download a bunch from the store too. They're all
that's
free, but
cool.
yeah, super super handy. I was surprised that Apple even had something like that. Like, it's
Yeah.
probably like honestly, it's probably one of the main things that's probably going to lock me in
Oh
to
yeah.
this ecosystem even more. Um, Maybe there's a way to do it with
Neat.
Google, but I haven't not aware.
I used to have a thing like before the shortcuts. It was like what was it called? Oh, if I think it was called if this then that. I don't know if you ever
Oh,
heard of
that
that
sounds
one.
so familiar. Yeah, I feel like maybe that's a
It was through
cross-platform thing.
Google, I think, like it was.
Hmm.
I had it synced up with my Google where I forget what I had it do, but it was essentially kind of like the same thing where it would, if this happens, then you just tell it to do something else, and there's just it was all like kind of just like drop downs and easy stuff. It was
Oh,
like,
yeah, I have seen this. Yeah, this is one of the.
yeah,
I was looking into this to try to get like my calendar to sync with Google Calendar, my Apple Calendar. but I haven't figured that out yet. Have you? Can
Can't
you
you
do
just
that?
can't you just sign in and have multiple calendars on your iPhone?
Well, I guess I went. Sorry, I went to go back and forth. I went to put my. I went to go from Apple to Google as well.
Oh, I
Um,
see.
and that's where it's because I use my Google Calendar a fair bit on my computer and stuff, and it'd be nice if it was just there
Right.
too.
That I do not know.
Um, but yeah, apparently you can do that with if this then that. I just didn't want to pay money.
Gotcha.
But no, that's cool. Yeah,
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, that's
$8 a
been.
month. That's like the price of.
Oh well, yeah. You better put that to work.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, I feel like I'm not gonna use it that much.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Well, that's been another. What are we calling these cards?
we're calling
Kade
these the
and-
KK.
Yeah.
The
The
the carades.
the Carade special. I don't like it.
The
Uh, the
cater
the
catering.
the catering. The cart. No,
Card.
I'll have to think of a name. The
Thank you for joining us, guys. We're gonna
we'll see ya.
get back
We'll
to you guys on that. And
yeah. If you have a good name for me and Kari's solo podcast, then
yep. Leave a comment.
comment.
Send a message to us. We love getting emails. Yep.
We'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Goodbye.